In my humble opinion, root cause number one is the mind. When the white people, the colonizers, came to Africa, they did not call themselves white, and we were not black. They found amazing tribes with well-established religious and educational systems, and they wondered how on earth they were going to conquer such a people. So they decided to destroy us where it mattered the most, which is the mind. They introduced religion and informed us of a place called hell. And they said in hell there is a big, ugly black devil, an evildoer who we must all shy away from. And they said, oh, by the way, while we may have gone to school and taught you about the different colors, which included a white sheet of paper and how black looks like, you too are black like the devil. And also there's a place called heaven. There are beings called angels in heaven. They are the do-gooders that we must work our entire lives to be like them. Desirable. And oh, by the way, they also happen to be white. Oh, like us. We might not look like this white piece of paper, but never mind. We are white, like the angels. Jesus Christ, that we all know from the good book, was a brown man. He had hair like wool, crimson skin. We know that to be true because when in the Bible, when Mary and Joseph were being told to run away from King Herod, they were sent to Egypt. Why Egypt? Because in Egypt, he would blend like others who looked like him. So we went to church, got on our knees, began to run away from what we were told looked like us, the devil who was black, and worship the angels who are white, like them. Jesus Christ, over the years, the photographs of Jesus Christ have changed to where now Jesus Christ looks exactly like them. This was a blatant lie. There is no such thing as a white person who has died and gone to heaven and seen white angels, who has died and gone to heaven and seen a black devil. Such a blatant lie that began the process of black self-hate, blatant lie that began the process of black mistrust of each other, blatant lie that began the process of us black people not believing in our abilities and looking to the West for better things. Line number one, to this day, our religious leaders have a responsibility to undo these lies. Being a devil or an angel has nothing to do with color. The police officer who knelt on George Floyd right there in Minneapolis was the personification of a devil. Color has nothing to do with it. If you understand line number one, you'll understand why we have been lied to. We, the mothers of humanity, are made to believe that what we do is undesirable and what the West does is better and more desirable. Issue number two, after they had destroyed our minds, they went on to physically destroy our beloved continent. They met in Berlin, Germany, and they chopped up our continent into tiny little economies that we are today, all by design. They met in Berlin from November of 1884 to February of 1885, precisely to strategize on how to see to it that Africa and her children are forever defeated and dominated. May I underscore that? They did not spend 4 cold months in Berlin for nothing. They had defeated us in the mind where it mattered. It was now the division of the physical Africa. Who in their mind creates a sovereign nation such as Togo, Benin, Congo Brazzaville, 1.4 million people, 4 million in the Congo Brazzaville, 1.2 in Eswatini. Even if you were to take the larger African countries, 10 million here, 15 million here, or we give you sovereignty, just like the big boys who were your former colonizers. At that time, we were still under colonization. We're broken up into tiny little countries, assigned to different leaders, countries, colonizers who spoke different languages. I often say, picture yourself driving from Zambia, you're speaking English. Before you know it, you are in DRC, you're speaking French. Keep going a little east, you're now in Equatorial Guinea, you're speaking Spanish. Continue a little north, you're in southern Cameroon, you're speaking English. Keep going north, still in Cameroon, now you're speaking French again. And before you know it, you're in Nigeria, you're speaking English. And you keep going. These leaders of those little countries that you see in West Africa, they're all sovereign nations. It was all by design to take a people who were once one, humongous, proud, strong tribes, destroy them, give them a different language. 2 generations later, they won't even realize they're related. Second level of destruction of the Black person. By the time the children of Africa were taken out of Africa as slaves, they were already destroyed. They already believed anything Black is undesirable and everything Western was better and more desirable. So it is for those who like to think Berlin Conference is a piece of history. Think again. How does the small African nations, how do they go to the world stage to trade with the big boys? Take one of the little countries with 1.5 million people. They have to go and negotiate with China and its 1.4 billion people. And we sit around as the world and say, but what's your problem? You can't negotiate with China. Africa is defeated before the game even begins. Until the boundaries disappear, until Africa can have a single currency, until Africa can have a single military, until Africa can have its own monetary policy, until Africa can get rid of the foreign militaries within the African continent, Berlin Conference remains alive and well.